I believe that one of the deepest emotional needs that a child has is the need to feel loved by the parents. I like to picture inside every child there's an emotional love tank. And if that love tank is full, that is, the child genuinely feels loved by the parents, the child grows up emotionally healthy. But if the love tank is empty and they feel like my parents don't love me, life begins to look pretty dark for that child. And they will likely grow up with a lot of internal emotional struggles. And in the teenage years, they sometimes go looking for love in the wrong places. So the question is, how do we make sure that our child feels loved? Most parents love their children. It's natural to love your children, but not all children feel loved. And what I've discovered is that what makes one child feel loved doesn't necessarily make another child feel loved. And I discovered that there's fundamentally 5 ways to express love to a child on an emotional level. I call them the 5 love languages. So let me just share them with you briefly. If you've read the book, or maybe you are already trying this will be a reminder to get it back on the front burner. If you haven't, it's an introduction for you, okay? These are in no particular order, but words of affirmation. Simply looking for something in the child's behavior or the way the child looks. You know, I really like your smile. When you smile, you're so beautiful. It's just looking for things that you can genuinely affirm, and you speak those words of affirmation to the child. A second love language is acts of service. It's doing something for the child. We have to speak this language the moment the child is born, because the child can do nothing. We have to put the food in, take the food out. We do the whole thing, okay? And then we have to cook every meal as they get older. We have to do everything for them because they can do nothing for themselves. So we have to speak this language. But as they do get a little older, some children, when you do things for them, this really communicates that you love them. When you take time to mend a doll dress for your daughter or to fix a bicycle tire for your son, man, they feel loved that you would do that for them. And then also, as they get older, as children, we're teaching them how to do things. That's a greater act of service. For example, a 6-year-old child can make up their own bed. But it takes you some time to teach them how to do it, but they can learn how to do it. And, 9, 10, 11, 12, they can learn how to start cooking. They can learn how to wash dishes and all kinds of things. So maybe ask your child, what are some of the things you'd like to learn how to do? Would you like to learn how to wash dishes? Would you like to learn how to wash clothes? Man, it's amazing what they'll do if they have the idea, oh, I get to do this, rather than saying, this is your chore, you got to do this, Okay, so acts of service, doing something for them. And for this child, these actions will speak louder than those words we talked about earlier. And then there's quality time, giving that child your undivided attention. When they're little, maybe they're sitting on your lap and you're reading a book to them, and it's quality time. They have your full attention. As they get older, maybe you're just having a conversation with them. Or maybe you're not talking, but you're doing something together. Maybe when they're little, you're playing in the sandbox with them, and they have your full attention. So depending on the age, but when you give them your undivided attention, for these children, they really feel loved. And then there's physical touch. Holding them when they're little. As a matter of fact, we do this by nature when they're infants. We hold them, we kiss them, we cuddle them, long before they understand the meaning of the word love. They feel love by physical touch. So as they get older, we're hugging them, we're kissing them, we're wrestling with them, we're giving them high fives as they get a little older, we're patting them on the back, rubbing their back, just physical touch. And then the last one is receiving gifts. Giving these children gifts. The gifts don't have to be expensive, but the gift says, they were thinking about me. Look what they got for me. I've sometimes said you can pick up a stone in a city parking lot and take it home and give it to an 8-year-old boy and say, hey man, I found this and I thought about you. Look at the colors in this rock. If gifts is his love language, you'll find that stone in his dresser drawer when he's 23. And he'll remember the day you gave it to him, because that's his love language. So the basic concept is that out of the 5, each child has a primary love language. And if you don't speak heavy doses of that primary language, they will not feel loved, even though you're speaking some of these other languages. That's why children can sometimes say to a counselor, "My parents don't love me." The counselor knows the parents and they love them. The problem is the parents have never learned how to communicate love in a way that's meaningful to that child. This makes all the difference in the world. So how do you discover a child's primary love language? Let me suggest 3 ways. 1, observe their behavior. How do they respond to you? For example, my son's language is physical touch. When he was 4 years old, when I would come home from work in the afternoon, he would run to the door, grab my leg, and climb on me. He's touching me because he wants to be touched. My daughter never did that. When she was that age, she would say, "Daddy, come into my room. I want to show you something." She wanted quality time. So just observe your child's behavior, and chances are you'll realize that they're speaking their own love language to you. And then secondly, what do they complain about? For example, a mother said to me recently, "My 6-year-old son said to me, 'We don't ever go to the park anymore since the baby came.'" Quality time is his language. He used to have his mom's full attention at the park when he and his mom went to the park, and now that's not happening because the baby's here. He's complaining. Listen to the complaints of your children, and you'll be able to determine their love language. Or what do they request of you most often? If your child is saying, "Mommy, can we play together now? Can we play together now?" They're asking you for quality time. You put those 3 things together, observe their behavior, what they complain about, what they request most often, you can pretty well figure out your child's primary language. Now, please don't hear me saying that you only speak the child's primary language. You give heavy doses of the primary, but you also sprinkle in the other 4, because we want that child to learn how to receive love and give love in all 5 languages. That's the healthiest adult. Most of us did not receive all 5 growing up, so we came to adulthood, and some of these we didn't know how to speak because we'd never received them. So if you want a healthy child, you give heavy doses of the primary language, you sprinkle in the other 4, you're going to have a child that genuinely feels loved and will likely grow up with a healthy emotional attitude.